everything. Good afternoon, everyone. I know this has been quite a long day for you guys. This is going to be your last panel session before the networking event after this. So please, I think I just want to make like this. This is the last warm session for you all. So today I'm with Mas Praya from Otten Coffee and also Mas Nando from Frisian. So what we are going to discuss today is about the customer engagement at the start, and then how we are going to make it very personal through the segmentation, and again to make sure that this will impact the loyalty at the end of the day. Okay, so I wanted to start with, because I've been talking about Ramadan as well, right? I wanted to give like some snapshot about the data about Ramadan as well. Jadi aku mau start with, of course we all know that as an Indonesian, Indonesia as a country is basically the largest Muslim home base, and then from the data itself, it shows like the e-commerce transaction source during Ramadan, we capture a 70% increase, and from those transactions, basically 62% of the users is still wanting like a very personalized kind of engagement to make sure that what they need is during this Ramadan and as a special season is being delivered. That's one thing. And then I want to also, like, with this rapid adoption of digital here and there, not only from the retail, which is capturing more digital, and also from FMCG industry, we have, I believe this is why we're here. We're going to also give interesting data on how they leverage this Ramadan as a big season to make sure that everything is impactful. So, as I don't want to take a really long time to introduce the session and everything, so we just like hit on it. It's more like first understanding the customer needs. I think I would start with Mas Nando here, because FMCG is very broad. Like your customer is very like they are coming from everywhere basically, and then wide range of customer, definitely you will need to have like a unique way to how do you segment them, and then they are having different kind of needs, and then how do you segment this general user into a unique segment, and how do you basically, if there's any unique strategy that you have, especially for Ramadan, we'd like to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, Anggita. Coming from FMCG, I think our audience is quite broad actually. So, and coming into my industry, which is a Frisian flag, which is dairy, FMCG, Ramadan is a key moment because the biggest consumption of dairy actually happen in Ramadan, in Lebaran, either for their sahur or even for breakfasting. So, first of all, what we usually do is we should understand what is the consumer needs first during the Ramadan, especially towards our categories or industry. How we can capture that? Actually, I can say a lot of insight and data actually available everywhere currently, especially in digital world. For me, usually data is separated into qual and fun, which is, well, it's more on the in-depth. We interview people. My consumer actually in dairy is actually everyone, even my neighbor, even my moms, even because the user of dairy is actually every person, right? So everyone we can capture the data there to understand what is their needs especially during the Ramadan, or what their behavior. Usually we have a behavior study. We can get lots of depth, but it's limited because we cannot do a lot. Because it's we can only and then the next one is quant. How we can validate it in more general, in more scalable. Usually we did a more robust study on understanding consumer through survey example or through the research. I think there are a lot of credible research in Indonesia right now, Nielsen, Kantar, etc. that can give feedback to us on what is the insight during those Ramadan. And then once we understand, actually, usually, of course, we need to understand what is our brand, target audience, And then example, for me, handling a liquid milk for Frisian flag Indonesia, actually our target market is moms with kids because that's the bullseye because most of the dairy consumption is actually kids. And then we need to dissect again what is the needs different between moms, example, with younger kids and then moms with older kids has a different needs. Even moms with older kids, there is a decision maker from the kids. Actually, we call it as the power of the kids. Actually, that can influence the buying behavior. Therefore, we are trying to segment and understand and what is the different behavior that they will do toward interacting with our product.
Okay, interesting banget ya. Jadi Mas Nando, you just mentioned about surveys and many collecting all those first party data to make sure that Ramadan is big. Maybe not only Ramadan lah, basically. There's a lot of seasonal campaigns that are happening, and then it's under your supervision. And I think I also wanted to add on like your business, Mas Praya. So on your business, I think, of course, like at the end of the day, you guys are selling things, product to the end user. Tapi I want to highlight that your business is a little bit different because you have more digital touch points. You have a direct sales as well. So other than what you can add on Mas Nando's point as well, but I want to also give like more like when you already segmenting according to what their needs, how this segmentation is actually giving the influence towards what menu or like what offerings do you give in a certain moment like Ramadan?
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, I think at Otten Coffee we are fully digital. Even our offline store is having a QR based, and all transaction is and any activity we can capture as a first party data. So with the first party data, we always separate the segmentation based on what they need and buying behavior. How many times did she or he buy in the past 3 months? How many? It's like at RFM. I think everybody here is marketing, right? So
frequency, and monitoring.
So RFM is okay, right? Using the RFM and our first party data and our POS too. Because anything about Otten Coffee is we build the product, we build the digital ecosystem. We use very small, very little portion for vendors. So we can we literally can use our first party data to know where to hit this person when did she or he buy if it's baby, if it's the first, when it's for Indonesian, some people have a baby in 25, but some in one for the first month, first date on first every month. So we segmented based on the purchase and based on the things they already purchased. For the simple, if someone buy the coffee machine, I don't recommend the coffee machine again because it's very weird if you have 2 coffee machines at home. So based on what they are already purchased and based on what the frequency of their purchase.
Tapi kalau dari sisi kan kalau dari Otten pasti a lot of beans that you have and you keep consistently making new, let's say new names of your capsule coffee and all of that. Is any like specific or unique stories that you create a specific Ramadan season because of the data that you have? Is there any stories around that?
Every coffee, there is 2 things about coffee. There's we call it blend and we call it Arabica. So based on this product, so we know how likely this vendor will buy things. Let's say Arabica coffee from Java or from Bali. We can segment based on the items that they purchase like that, and we can give hampers, like hampers package or some special promo for today only, blah blah blah. Depends on the our depends on the situation, because in retail, especially in digital, the trend today and tomorrow is really different. So we have to act very fast. So sometimes we give voucher special for today only 4 hours, and only for some SKU. For some people, it's we use some our vendors third party like Braze as customer engagement platform, so we know how to approach, and it makes our operation easier.
Okay, thank you so much. So, yeah, it's very insightful, by the way, because I really forgot about the hampers and everything. I believe it's a very value added to the specific seasons like Ramadan, because definitely as an Indonesian, it's like, I think it's a must, no, to give like sort of like unique parcels to your loved one. And then Otten is actually having that as well. Okay, that we already discussed about the importance to understand your customer needs, and then like how do you segment them, how do you get all the data, first party data. Now I wanted to talk more about the personalization. Personalization here is very broad, like there's a lot of things inside of the word of personalization. But what I want to tap more about is like on a special occasion like Ramadan, what do you go and how do you go beyond just offering, let's say, hampers, as you say, like how do you go and connect to your customers in the special time during Ramadan? Why I ask about this is because my next question to you, before I come back to you, Mas Nando, is actually more about like how soon you go. How soon do you remind your customers when you already collect you already have the data about their interests, and then you know that Ramadan is coming ahead. Now that it's end of February, we're already like about to it's just like in front of us. How soon do you plan it, and then like is there like changing the way, or is it just already a BAU, because actually Ramadan is every year? Is there any like unique stories that you can share about that?
Okay, because Otten Coffee is a retail coffee commerce, so the cool things in Otten is we have around 6-7 years of historical data. Yeah, we have our 6 to 7 years historical data, and I always use the historical data first to know who is the person more likely to buy at Ramadan. So I prepare the segmentation, give the personalized message. Let's say this A person is buying coffee machine at 2021, and then continue by the coffee beans, and let's say I will give him the promo or some coffee subscription or anything for the segment, and then because we have all the data, so it will be easier to map the segmentation based on their literal behavior, and to make it personalized, we know how what days in Ramadan they more likely to purchase.
Okay, so it's more like before you go on the more broad section, you go first to people who have purchased on the Ramadan itself, and so you are like maybe in the like you can start early on about that. Okay, cool. And then probably you wanna add on?
I'll start. How fast start?
Yeah, the second question is how soon actually. How soon do you do, if let's say like a month before, or like how soon? Because the transition is pretty, okay, as a marketers, I believe everyone would feel the same after, let's say after Christmas, you already like have a New Year plan, and then after that there's a Chinese New Year, after that there's like Ramadan coming, like how soon, and is it like your planning is easy, or like how's the effort like about the planning a big campaign like Ramadan?
If you ask about the planning, yeah, we already start planning at December.
Wow.
But yeah, we already start to plan on December. But in the retail, it's a really fast changing trends. So do exactly what we want to. Let's say if we create a personalized message, it's 1 week. Because if we create it totally, the relevancy is not here anymore because the
Yeah.
trend is changing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to Mas Nando lagi. We already talked about at the Otten Coffee what personalization based on the data, and then like how soon do we do that. I want to talk more tap on like the trust to the brand. Why it is relevant, because after the user getting their needs, we understand their needs, and then we tapping into personalized message to them, and then the impact is basically more trust to the brand. And I wanna ask about like how can we ensure like the connection made during Ramadan, other than other seasonal, to the long-term engagement and the trust to Frisian flag. And secondly, if you have any unique stories from your past Ramadan campaign, we'd like to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. I think a big question about how to, especially in FMCG industry, on how to retain consumer. Yeah? For us, consumer, customer is different. Customer is actually our partner, example distributor, stores. For our consumer is our shopper, which is who consume our product. So from consumer point of view, I think to make it loyal, I think it's more about how we can expose our brand to them. I think most of the marketing know the funnel of the brand, yeah? From awareness, conversion, conviction, and then later on until the lower funnel, how to convert it at the end. So it's important to be available in every touch point for FMCG to the consumer, which is every touch point. It means that, example in Ramadan, we know that one person is actually exposed to many platforms. Not only TV, not only perhaps TikTok, perhaps YouTube, perhaps Facebook at the same time. Then it's become omni-channel currently. So we create a strategy for Ramadan because the behavior is different. How they consume the media is different during Ramadan. Example in TV during the Ramadan, I think we suddenly pick up before the Maghrib usually. So those kind of understanding on how the consumer behavior is how we want to give a content to them. Example in last year in festive, we understand that there is some needs of moms that actually they need to think every day on what need to be made for sahur, example for even for breakfasting menu for their family. Those insights actually lead to our campaign, which is to create some kind of CRM in WhatsApp as a platform to give a solution to moms that this is the menu that you can create in every day if you subscribe. We got the first party data, of course, by registering, and then by registering we know what they need, and then we can send and push the menu creation, of course, create by Frisian flag, of course. And then using those, I think we solve one problem of consumer, and at the same time, we create a loyalty during those Ramadan so that every day they use our product to create a menu. So that's one of the example. At the end, we managed to get, I think within 1 month, around 3,500 data that want to get a menu from us. I think it's that one example, and then beyond the Ramadan, I think this data actually is very rich because we understand that there is an interaction with our chatbot. So we understand what is their behavior, and we can utilize again to connect with them with another content that perhaps relevant with them. I think that's some of the examples.
Actually, I'm impressed because as a wife myself, if I'm your customer, if I'm the one who received that like menu for sahur, it will be very helpful and very meaningful. So I think that also like the impact to the brand, I believe it's huge. It's huge and meaningful and create a long-term trust and loyalty to your brand itself.
Yes.
So I think as we are also like in the interest of time, I think I want to summarize a bit as we already covered a lot of ground today from the segmentation and also the understanding about personalized experience. It's even like although you are coming from like FMCG and retail are still like producing product to the end user, you both have completely different funnel, completely different like approach. One is more like digital, full digital, and from Frisian Flag is more like to help the penetration, and then the challenge is always different. So, but at the end of the day, from understanding the customer needs, it's again to create a personalized experience, and the meaningful engagement is what we want here. And I believe all the marketers' goals is on that. Okay, so I think, yeah, again, I really want to thank you, my panelists, Mas Praya and also Mas Nando. Of course, our discussion won't going to end today, as just now we already talked about more than 30 minutes about all about each other businesses. So it's a fun day for me, and I hope it's for you too, and all the attendees here. And I think last but not least, before I ended the session, I wanted to say that I'm very proud to say that Braze is supporting all these things that we are talking about today. And if you do want to know more about Braze, we are one of the exhibitors in the front that you can find our team, Omega and Lucky there. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.